What's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video talking about, will Glenn and Maggie eventually reunite in the Walking Dead television series? Alright, great. So this is another good one I've kind of been thinking about. I think it's a good topic to do for a video to give my thoughts on, since it's such, I think, a heavy concentration for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 4. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Out of everyone who's been separated, maybe with the exception of Baby Judy and Rick and Carl, that separation, I do think the one that is most interesting is whether or not Maggie and Glenn will meet, will find each other again in the television series, whether or not it's going to happen. Now, of course, they've been separated since the events of Too Far Gone, as Glenn got on the bus, and Maggie, of course, was down there with Sasha and Bob. As the bus drove off, she kind of was pinned down, and they weren't able to flag down the bus, so the bus didn't stop and took off. Of course, afterwards, in The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 10, Inmates, we met up with them again. We kind of found where they were. We saw that Maggie, Bob, and Sasha sort of had, just kind of headed out on foot, and were basically in the middle of nowhere in the woods, essentially as they began on Maggie's quest to find Glenn. On foot, they end up finding the bus, and we find out pretty quickly in kind of an interesting way in terms of what they did with it, because you have Maggie who kills the walker at the end that looks a lot like Glenn, at least the hair does. And then you can kind of see through the acting, which is great acting, by the way, from Lauren Cohen, that she actually had killed just some random walker that looks somewhat like Glenn in terms of the hair. Then, of course, we cut over after the commercials back to Glenn, and we see that he's waking up, and he's waking up in the prison on the barrier that's been destroyed, basically passed out there at some point in time, and essentially there's just walkers everywhere. Obviously, the tank battle or the explosions and everything that happened at the prison had drawn in all the walkers within probably a mile or something there, just from all the gunfire and shots and all the chaos and all the noise and everything. Especially the tank blasts are loud, even shake the ground and everything. Walkers from everywhere coming in. Of course, he then finds Tara and sort of takes off with her we're not really sure exactly what direction, but it seemed somewhere like the same type, because I believe there was the car there, somewhat similar to where Maggie was, or at least somewhere in the vicinity, the same vicinity, probably within maybe a couple square miles, that type of thing, if even that. And then, of course, Maggie and the others found the bus. We don't know where they went after that point. We don't know if they headed back towards the prison, doubled back, or if they went somewhere else in some other kind of direction. But at this point, we've got Tara and Glenn, who Glenn's passed out, right, who have just met up with Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita. So they're going to be joining forces. We can see that in the preview for next week's episode for Claimed. And we don't know where Maggie and the others are. It seems like in the trailer, Abraham's trying to talk Glenn out of searching for her. Maybe he doesn't like the fact that Glenn wants to search for her, and they have their own agenda, and they kind of want Glenn to just kind of come with them and forget about it. But of course, it's his wife, and we know he's not going to do that anyway. So even Abraham would have to kill him to get him to stop, I would think, searching for her. And even if he tells him it's a needle in a haystack or whatever the case may be, or maybe even just that she's dead, she wouldn't be able to survive on her own out there. It's reasonable to think that Glenn's going to try to find her anyway and going to search for her. Now, that said, this one for me is a tough one. I mean, we don't really have any kind of inside information. At least I haven't read any kind of inside information or seen anything on the internet in terms of filming or anything like that would lead us to believe that they have gotten back together. Now, I think it would be a great moment if they were to do it. Have them finally, cross paths maybe near the end of the season or something, or in a little while, maybe a few episodes, keep them separate for a while, and then finally reunite type of thing. Now, that said, they are fairly close, so it's kind of tough to say, because they could just meet up this episode this weekend coming up, right? But something tells me, just from general, just thinking about it, I guess I would say, that I don't think they're going to find each other anytime soon, if at all. I think there's a chance that one of the two of them is going to die, based on sort of some rumors that have been out there, not confirmed or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, I don't have any kind of inside information, but based on rumors that have been out there, that someone who is still alive in the comic book series is going to die in this half of The Walking Dead season 4. If that rumor is correct, then to me it sounds like it's going to be Maggie. Whether or not that happens before or after she finds Glenn, there is a storyline in the comic books where Maggie attempts to commit suicide, and it basically doesn't go all the way through. They're able to stop her in time. So for this one, for me, I don't know why, I just kind of have a hunch, I guess to say, that I don't think they will actually find each other again. I think that probably Maggie will die beforehand. Just a hunch, just a death prediction, so to speak. And maybe they'll do something like a Romeo and Juliet type of scenario. Maybe she'll kill herself first, and then thinking Glenn is dead, and then Glenn will run into her as a zombie or something like that. Is what I'm thinking they're going to do with it. Something really dark, because the show in season 4 seems to be extremely bleak, really, really dark. And going along with that theme, I think that's what they might do with it. Granted, is that the type of thing I would want to see? No. I would want to see them separated for a few episodes, and maybe near the end of the season find each other again, that type of thing. If the groups are to completely reunite, they would have to see each other again unless one of them dies first. So I guess most of my theory that they won't, actually be with each other again comes from the fact that I do think, for some reason, I just have a hunch about it, that Maggie's going to die. Either that, well, they could kill off Glenn too, but I tend to think that Maggie out of the two is the more likely to be killed off this season, because I do think they're going to have at least one more big character death this season coming up, if it does happen. Granted, this is all just me talking about what I think is going to happen, not what I want to happen. I would want them to meet up, but I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, there's just kind of my thoughts on it, just kind of where I think they're going with it. Let me know what you guys think about it, how you think it's going to play out. Do you think Glenn's going to stumble upon zombie Maggie or something? Do you think they're going to find each other first? Or do you think it'll be kind of like the so close but yet so far type thing, because they just can't, even if they're really close in terms of distance away, they may just never find each other, because one could be heading in one direction, the other could be heading in another direction. They could never meet up. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's a good one. And me, just a feeling. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that they're not going to meet up again, and it's just kind of a prediction. It could be totally wrong, but I'm just saying. It's what I think is going to happen. Even though I'd like to see them. If I'm wrong, I'll be glad, because that'd be good. I'd like to see that more. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about that. Two things. Do you think that they will find each other again? And do you want them to? Or have you had enough of it? Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. See you for the next one. Strap, and peace.